Okay. Hi. So my name is Wei Chen. Okay, I'm a executive brand director. So before we invite tonight's speakers, of course I have to grab this opportunity to share with everyone a little bit about myself. Yeah, before I invite the VIP. So my name is Wei Chen. I was an engineering manager in one of the biggest MNC in Penang, Malaysia. So I resigned from my so-called good pay job in year 2020, while the virus are hitting the peak and, pandemic and everyone was staying at home. I decided to turn full-time and go full force on my new skin business. Of course, I took some risks, and the risk definitely paid off. And during that year, during the pandemic, me and my wife actually grow the entire organizations, new skin organizations grow, and our income also grow. If you would like to have a figure in mind, I think we grow around 200% during that period of time. And tonight, we didn't prepare any slides, but would really want to share with you. When I first started new skin business, it was my plan B. I didn't think about being full-time, or I just want to earn some extra income from this business and gain back my health. But when I really understand the 5%, 6 level, or I really understand the opportunity, the products, the technology that New Skin has, and it's open up for me to leverage to grow my international business, I decided and I fully believe New Skin is a plan, is a platform that allowed me to turn this plan B into my plan A. And today, I'm full-time, and I also, started to enjoy the flexibility of time and financial, and I also get to grow up together with my kids. And definitely I love coffees, and I get my times to enjoy my coffee, brewing coffee, not only drinking. And all this, I really got to thank New Skin as a company, and thanks my introducer 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗡. I saw him here, and I really got to thank the speaker tonight. Because of him, I learned a lot from him. He's my business mentor together with my introducer. Both of them teach me a lot. From an engineering manager, do not know how to do sales until today. I can have my own business. I can have my own team. Thanks to these two gentlemen. Please give them a lot of flowers and 888 in the chat. So without further ado, I want to introduce our VIP to all of you. Mr. or COE1 Wei-Ling Tan. Okay. He is actually Southeast Asia Children's Heart Fund Honorary Board members, which he served actively for 6 years with the goal of saving 4 kids a day, with heart congenital disease. Together with his wife, Casey, there are Circle of Excellence 1 members, meaning they have accumulated more than $1 million from this business. Now they have exceeded $3 million. They have also created $1 million circle earner in their organizations. They created 14 executive brand directors and 1 team elite. In year 2022, everyone was so panicked, and the environments or the markets are so uncertain. They actually created 3 executive brand directors in their group, and I'm one of them. I'm one of the 3. Okay, so thanks to them again. Thanks for their leaderships, their experiences, their coaching, and so on. They also led the team to create 7 Jumpstart winners in year 2020, and also 6 Jumpstart winners in 2021. Okay, meaning that these leaders, these winners, they actually open up more than 20 franchises, 20 new franchises, or I would say 20 new stable franchises in a year. Okay, there are total 7 of them in year 2020, 6 of them in year 2021. Okay, Wei-Ling graduated with mechanical engineering degree, engineers, same as me, from universities of Texas and Austin in the United States. They have been in the business for almost 20 years and have an immense depth of experience developing leaders to be a force for good. Wei-Ling worked in Motorola here in Malaysia, and in the US for more than 13 years, okay? And he was an engineering manager in charge of product development when he left in year 27. He started part-time and became an executive brand director for 4 years. He's my idol, you know, part-time also can be executive brand director. You know, by the way, you know, we are very proud that he's the first $1 Million Circle members from the northern regions of Malaysia. Today, you know, all of us, whether you are here as an audience or new to the business, you know, I'm very proud to have invited 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗡𝗚 won 3 times Platinum Team Elite, 8 times Team Elite leaders, and multiple Jumpstart 20 winners. 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗡 won Wellington to share his experience, his insights, and advice on his new skin journey. Okay, please give a lot of love, 8888, and flowers to welcome 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗡 Willing. Let me
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. That's a mouthful. That's a long list. Yes, it's been an amazing 2 decades. But first of all, please give EBD Wei Chen a round of applause. He has led the team in social commerce side of our business, as well as leadership in organizing, and of course bringing up a fantastic team. So really is an amazing growth. I see him throughout those years. So congratulations. Hi everybody, how are you? Well, today is a bit different. Yes, if you're expecting slides, we're gonna get no slides today. I hope that I can just chat with you today, just as I would if I met you at a cafe and share with you my experience. So have you guys brought your cup of coffee with you today? I didn't bring coffee, by the way. I brought my what is this? How many of you know what this is? Anyone drinking this too? All right. This is my beauty drink, right? My beauty. Do you think it's working? Do you think it's working? My beauty drink is working? All right. Inner focus collagen peptide. All right. So, and of course, the reason I'm drinking this is because, hey, it's launching, right? It just launched just a few days ago, and it really is awesome. So I hope that you are with a drink as well. And so it's kind of casual today. So, you know, if you have questions, you know, definitely later you can ask. And I hope that you have questions that you can ask me, things that you're not sure about, things that you'd like to know more regarding this business. And we'll do some Q&A, okay? So I think as Wei Chen mentioned just now, I hope I'm clear. Is it clear? Okay, good. As mentioned just now, yes, I was in Motorola. My first job and my last job was working in Motorola. So I've only been in one company. So that kind of tells you my friends list. Okay, my friends list is limited to only one company. Okay, and you know, I've like most people. I mean, I work hard, right? And you know, I didn't expect much from work, you know. I just did as much as I could. You know, I don't remember even asking for a raise in my 13 years, okay? And I was that kind of person who, you know, dare not ask because I was afraid that they would reject me and say, what are you asking, you know, for a raise, you know? And so I just work hard, all right? I'm not sure if some of you are like that as well, but I was like that. But I'm very grateful to the company Motorola because it definitely did take me around the world, you know, and you know, it really kind of you know, gave me confidence as well, working as an engineer, and of course progressing from a process engineer in the manufacturing lines to designing to program management. How many of you are of that journey? Process engineer was my first job, and then design engineer, design stuff, and then program management. That means, you know, not lead a team, but, you know, develop a product. And then business management, that was a big jump because I've always been in engineering. Went to business management. It was like, wow, you know, look at numbers and production numbers and, you know, sales. Oh, that was a bit difficult for me. I'm not a business person, right? I was more of hands, you know, on, you know, product design kind of person. And then went to, and then of course, ended up as an engineering manager. So I'm very blessed, you know, with what Nu Skin, and they've sent me to America to work for a few years as well. So after a few years working, you know, I was in America, and we were blessed with a child. And when we returned, again, continued to work. And then in my about 9th or 10th year, I was introduced, you know, to Nu Skin, and I was introduced by my sister-in-law, which is Casey's eldest sister. Now, at that time, you know, I wasn't the one talking. I didn't hear. Frankly speaking, I didn't want to hear. I'm not sure if that is like you. I didn't want to hear anything about direct selling because I know a bunch of my friends tried to recruit me into either other companies that start with E, another company starts with A, another company starts with E again, I think. And I was thinking, why are you so not 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗡𝗚, but why are you bugging me for? You know, I got a good job. Why you come bugging me for? I'm sure how many of you feel that way when you were first approached or when somebody started to call you and said, stop bugging me, you know? And so I of course didn't like it, and of course stayed away. So when Stephanie, which is Casey's sister, came to talk to us about it, I didn't want to hear. I walked away. And but I think we were family. So being family, we support lah. Okay. How many of you, when you first join your friends and you support? You have? How many of you do that? If you do, support, buy a product or two, give me 5. I hope I'm not alone, right? I hope I'm not alone. Sometimes I give face a bit lah, right? So we brought, now when we buy, and Casey and I are the type of person, of course, you know, we can support, yes. But Casey is very particular, all right? Casey's degree is a chemical engineer. So she's more particular about what goes into the body, all right? I'll give you an example. When I go to buy supplements, you know, I'll just go in and then look at whatever is cheaper, I'll buy, okay? That is me. Probably not very safe, but hey, that's I mean, how many of you like that? If you like that, give me 111, so I know I'm not alone too. I just simply buy lah. Not concerned too much about it. I just buy, you know. Oh God, okay. And then but Casey, she's like, you know, show me the ingredient list. You know, so when she would go and buy supplements, I'm like outside in the cold, right, in America, and I'm like in the cold holding the bags like for 45 minutes, and she's inside like comparing the ingredients, you know, like, this one must be, this one must be, and then oh my God, you just buy lah, you know. And so, you know, Casey's like that. How many of you are like Casey? Got people like Casey, you know, like very particular about your ingredients? Yeah, if you do, give me 3, because well, you know, we're all different, isn't it, right? You know, and I'm like, just buy. Casey's like, look at the ingredients very carefully. And later did I realize that it's good to be careful. It's good to be careful. Yeah. I didn't know. I thought that all supplements were the same. Yeah, all the same one. You know, I didn't realize that actually there's a big difference. Okay. I didn't know that vitamin C need to be buffered. I didn't know that minerals need to be chelated. You know, just mineral iron. Iron is the same thing, isn't it? No. It must be chelated. Okay. So, so Casey looked into the first product that we looked into. I didn't bring it. It's called Life Pack. Okay, Life Pack. And she looked at it, and in 10 minutes, she said, "Hey, I've been looking for ingredients like this for a long time. Okay, it has all the things I want, and it holds the form that I'm looking for." And I said, "Okay, whatever lah. You think good, then buy lah." You know. So I was like that. So she bought it, and so that's how we were particular about the product. We didn't simply buy. Okay, so but the good thing is the company Nu Skin at that time, you know, was able to give us the information we wanted about the safety, about the ingredients, yeah, about why we put these ingredients, why we didn't put that ingredient. So they were able to answer those questions. Now, I must tell you, my sister-in-law is not she's not a nutritionist. She just joined very recently. Also, she has no knowledge about A, B, C, D, vitamins or polyphenols or catechins. But thankfully, Nu Skin had a 48-hour email reply system. Okay, so you send them an email about a question. In 48 hours, they reply. How many of you have used the 48-hour reply before? If you have, give me 4. So I was like 20 years, I was very impressed because, wow, it's like there is a source or resource that you can ask questions with, anybody can ask the questions. And I was quite impressed by the way they replied. 48 hours, which is acceptable. And I thought that it was, it didn't say like, oh yeah, trust me, it's good, just eat it. They didn't say that, but they had a lot of like, they're very conservative, I must say. It's like, we are not a medical physician. Please consult your physician for more information. I thought that was nice. I thought that they were very professional at answering those questions, and they provided a lot of backup references, and I'm asking a very simple question, but they give like 20 references, I'm not going to look at the 20 references now, but I said, okay, fine, this is good. So that's how we kind of started to take the product. And okay, so there's a story about the shampoo. Okay, I must tell you about the shampoo. So Casey goes to shower first because I can sleep a bit longer. Okay, we had a very small flat at that time, and the bathroom was very small. And so she would take, and then we would buy shampoo. Why? Because okay lah, just give face, buy shampoo lah. Okay, fine. And the shampoo is very nice. It smelled like coconut, so it's very good. But every morning I would notice that the bathroom had a lot of hair. How many of you have concerns about hair loss? Casey is like, she had long hair and she had this hair loss problem, okay? And I would go in and I was like, oh my God, there's hair all over the place, okay? It was so serious that Casey wouldn't go to friend's house to stay overnight or anything because she would have to come back and pick up hair and because it's all over the place. So yeah, hair is a big deal, especially for women, right? Because you don't have a lot. And so after using the shampoo, it was like just about a week or 2 weeks like that, and I go in and say, hey, I told my wife, did you just wash the bathroom? I said, why? Because it's like very clean wall, and we started to realize a simple shampoo like that, it wasn't very expensive, like 50, 60 bucks like this, it was working, and so she's happy. But let me tell you something, I don't know how many of you are like me, okay? Tell me if you're like me. Give me two if you're like me, meaning that your friend recommended your product. The product actually works, okay? So the product shampoo was working, but you know what? We dare not tell my sister-in-law. Okay, how many of you are like that? If you're like that, give me two. I don't want to tell her. You know why? Because if I tell her, right, she's going to ask me to do business. So we didn't want to tell her. I said, we're so bad, I look back and said, oh my God, why were you so bad, God, oh my God, you guys are bad. What kind of people are you? So we're so scared that people ask us to do the business. We don't even want to tell them that it is good, right? Oh, this is good. So like that, this is who we are, so that, oh my goodness, we were that bad. Okay, so I would have to apologize to my sister-in-law, Steffi, now, but okay. So 7 months into using the products, she would say that she's coming to Penang to give a talk. Of course, she told my wife, like Casey, that, and I said, and Casey says, huh? My sister-in-law, she says, going to give a talk. Well, never in our life would I imagine she would give a talk, okay? So she said, must go and give face. And then my wife asked me to go and say, okay lah, just go lah, And it was my birthday at that time as well. And I said, why would I want to go on my birthday some more? I said, oh my God. So we went. It was a tiny room in Penang Plaza. How many of you remember Penang Plaza? Okay. It was a very small room. It's about maybe 300 square feet. The stage was like 6-inch high. There was not a lot of people there, but they were dressed in jackets and suit and tie. And guess what I was wearing? Okay, so I feel bad to tell you this, but I was wearing t-shirt, and I was wearing shorts. Okay, that's exactly what I'm wearing today. Okay, and I was wearing slippers. Can you imagine? I really no give face at that time. Okay, because I just wanted to go and okay, listen to her, and then go home. Okay. So yes, Eileen, right. And I sat there and folded my arms and didn't want to laugh or smile at anything that they say, because I know that if I smile or laugh, I'm reacting to it. And maybe they see me smile, maybe they say, this one got hooked already. So I really keep myself very composed. Hey, how many of you are like me? Very composed one, don't want to give out anything one, right? So I was that bad. Okay. So I was looking at my watch and say, hey, what time to go home? So my sister-in-law went up to talk. So I said, okay, she's going to talk. Okay, go and listen to her talk. And she only spoke for 2 minutes. And I said, she came down because actually she turned out she was only the MC, just like what Wei Chen was doing today, And I'm looking at Casey and I said, that's her talk. That's it, And then the guy came up. This guy is Eddie. He's from JB. I didn't know him. Turned out that he's a a relative line in a way, like married to, So distant relative, thank you, distant relative, yeah. And so listen to him talk, and he's a businessman, one of the largest photocopier and telecommunications businesses in JB. Okay, very good. And then he went up and talked and then shared a few things. And but as it turned out, I think sometimes things happen. You can't explain it. You didn't want to go, and here comes somebody you didn't even want to go. My planning was just to listen to her, and then this guy goes up and speaks, and I was immediately kind of like, of course, shocked, a bit angry, but I can't leave. My in-laws were there. My daughter was running around, and I just gotta sit there, But I felt when I saw him, I felt, hey, this guy looks very humble. This guy looks pleasant. And so, okay, I'll just continue, give face and sit down and listen. So he said a few things that I would say immediately changed my perspective. Because if they didn't say those things, I would have left, isn't it, right? So one of the first things he said was, that in the industry of this business, 35% of the people who do it are professionals. That means in MLM, in network marketing, 35% of the people who do it are professionals. So I was like, wow, that's very high. That's 1/3, And I said, I can't imagine 1/3 are people professional. I was a professional. My wife is a professional. I'm saying, why would they have a good job? Why would they want to do this? Sell shampoo and sell supplements, isn't it? And I couldn't understand, So how many of you feel that way too? It's like, what's wrong with them, right? How many of you, when you first joined, or you don't understand why are these professionals joining this business, isn't it? Anyone like me? If you are, give me like a 5, because that was something that I was very surprised with. So then he said the next piece of information, which then kind of like gave me an even like more shocking revelation. He said, but in Nu Skin, the number of professionals is like 58%. I said, what? Almost double, 58% professionals. So, and well, I don't know, I didn't go and ask him the source where this come from, but I don't think it matters anymore because, well, anyway, so I was like, what are these people seeing that I'm not? I consider myself pretty smart. Okay, I mean, been working for, I'm 32 years old. I didn't just come out from graduation. Right? And at 32, working for about 9-10 years, you kind of know something, like you're not like easily tricked by anything. Okay, so, and I'm saying, what are they knowing that I don't know? What they see, I'm not seeing. Yeah. So that kind of put me on hold, because I'm saying, if this is boring, I'm going to go home, right? What am I going to stay here for? So this kind of kept me a little bit curious about what is it that they're seeing? 60%, Then, of course, he later explained more that, Nu Skin, was New York listed. And of course, at that time, 20 years ago, I'm not very familiar. I'm not very financially aware about these things, New York Stock Exchange buy share or whatever it is, I know that Motorola is New York Stock Exchange listed. I guess it is. Yeah, it is. It's listed. And when I heard Nu Skin was, I said, wow, a direct some company can be New York listed, you know. And so that kind of gave me some credibility. And unlike the one in Malaysia, I think it's audited once. In US, they audit every quarter, you know, and it's transparent. So there's this word transparent means a lot, isn't it? Especially now, isn't it? Transparency. Because, you know, because we always have this suspicion of what these companies are doing, isn't it? What are they doing with my money? How are they spending it, you know? Suspicion. How many of you are like me? Give me one. You're suspicious about MLM companies. You're suspicious about direct selling companies, isn't it? I think that's what many people feel, suspicious. You know what's going on. But once he said New York listed is transparent, I say, hey, he said, you know what? You can go and check it yourself. You can do Yahoo Finance and check it yourself. I said, oh, like that. Huh? So that I didn't check because I don't know what to read also. How many accountants here today? I need accountants here. If you're an accountant, give me an A if you're an accountant. Let me know if you checked out the company, you know, and what do you find? Is it strong? Is it a strong company? I don't know. I mean, so I was like, you know, I was impressed and I said, okay, New York listed. Okay, good, you know, better than normal companies, I guess. Yeah. So it kind of matched Motorola. Motorola New York listed. This one New York, okay, good. Match my style, which is good. Xiu Fang says 8. 8 meaning what? 8 meaning good company or 8 meaning what is 8 meaning? Is it good? Yes, Xiu Fang, you're an accountant, isn't it? Right? You are. So I have got a lot of accountants as well. They kind of check the account. So that was a piece of information that kind of opened my eyes a little bit because I wasn't aware. And then I tell you a bit about my father. My father used to be a USM lecturer. So when he was doing his PhD, I actually went with him to England for 4 years, right? And to a couple of universities because he did his master and then his PhD in Sussex. And then when he was in USM lecturing, you know, he was able to do a sabbatical in George Washington University. So I also went for 6 months, you know, and then we went around many universities because he just visited a few universities. And so I was kind of aware about these were some very famous universities. And one of the universities was UC Berkeley. Okay, UC Berkeley. Is it a famous university? You know, to me, it was like UC Berkeley because it was very famous for robotics and all that, you know, and I wanted to do robotics. And but I applied to UC Berkeley. Unfortunately, I couldn't, I was rejected by that. But it turns out that Nu Skin was collaborating with 38 universities worldwide. And one of them was UC Berkeley. And I said, wow, this MLM company or direct selling company is working with UC Berkeley. And of course, 38 of these world-class universities. And I was very impressed. I was like, wow, you know, I'm not, you know, nothing against our universities, but, you know, UC Berkeley, it's like next level already, next level. So I was impressed. How many of you are impressed like me when you found out that Nu Skin collaborates with 38 universities, world-class universities? I was very impressed. So the number of professionals joined in, opened my eyes. The New York listed transparency opened my eyes. The number of universities opened my eyes. And that year was 2002, the year that the Olympics was in Atlanta. No. The Olympics was in US. Yeah, it was in US, I think. No. It was in Salt Lake City. The Winter Olympics. The Winter Olympics was in US, Salt Lake City. And and guess what? Nu Skin was the sponsor of the US Olympic team for the Winter Olympics in Salt Lake City in 2002, 2004. And I was like, I mean, I frankly speaking, I feel bad now, but I really never regarded network marketing products as good quality products. Okay. Sorry. And how many of you are like me? You know, like direct selling product, no good one. You know what I'm saying? Overpriced and no good. Okay. How many of you like that? And but when it says Olympic, the Nu Skin was it's not just it was a sponsor. We are the first direct selling company to sponsor a US Olympic team. Well, you know, and the US, the Olympic, now I did check this out because I wrote a letter to the 48-hour and I asked the 48-hour team, I say, tell me more about you sponsoring the US Olympic team. What tests did you go through? You know, and guess what? They replied, and they said that all the products have gone through IOT, International Olympic, IOC, International Olympic Committee approved 80 over tests, you know, that it was safe to give all their US Olympic teams, athletes. And so I was like, wow, you know, again, next level, you know, I was so impressed with this. In fact, I can't show it, it's in my log, I close it. The official Olympic, Nu Skin Olympic pin. Oh, goodness. Do you see that? US, this is the bobsledge. You see the Nu Skin logo, right? This is the official Olympic badge. Isn't that cool? This is skiing. And then this is swimming. And this is Mark Spitz. Mark Spitz won, I think, either 8 gold medals. So I have these. Maybe one day I'll do a lucky draw. Maybe one day I'll do a lucky draw with these. Who wants to win one of these? You know, I have quite a few. Okay, anyway, where was I? So if these products, if Olympic athletes can take these products, do you think it's safe for my mother? I was thinking about that. And do you think it's safe for myself? And do you think it's safe? So I didn't question anymore, you know. Now I only used the shampoo and some skincare, and I also took the life pack, right? And this just added on to my belief that the products were good. Okay, if Olympic athletes can take it, I think you can take it also. Okay, and I feel very proud to take products that even Olympic athletes can take, right? So you guys feel proud too? If you feel proud, give me 8888. That the products that you're taking today, Olympic athletes can also take as well, right? And not just that Beijing Olympics, we also sponsored also the Taiwan Olympic team also was sponsored as well for the Beijing Olympics as well. So I'm very, very impressed. So you can see from a person that was skeptical, from a person that's no, don't disturb me. You know, I'm a professional. I make enough money. I don't need to sell shampoos or supplements. To coming to a meeting, which I didn't want to go, to listen to somebody who only spoke for 2 minutes, to later realize in 45 minutes that whatever that I have thought about MLM or what I thought about direct selling was really not to say wrong, was different, was, you know, it was a paradigm shift. It was like, how come nobody told me this? Well, of course, I blame myself lah. Well, people wanted to tell you, you didn't want to listen, isn't it? Right? So me lah, right? I didn't, you know. But you know what? I'm so grateful that I didn't listen to other companies and I listened to my introducer, my sister-in-law. You know, I'm so grateful because, you know, because if I listen to other, probably I'd be joining a different company. So I'm grateful I'm joining Nu Skin today. So are you guys grateful you joined Nu Skin? If you are, give your introducer lots of love, you know. Let me drink some water.
Yeah, definitely willing. I think Nu Skin has been doing very, very well, especially in these 2 years. There are a lot of people has heard about Nu Skin, you know, compared to like 10 years ago when, or you know, 8, 9 years ago when I first started. When we talk about Nu Skin, people are talking about the skincare. now when we talk about Nu Skin, people sort of like already know the brand, the quality of the products, and a lot of them really. But you know, to a lot of new people like who are interested to explore this business, and they sort of like already have the idea of Nu Skin is a good company, age-lock products are very good, you know, good quality, changing life. But when come to, you know, starting or wanted to, you know, start doing the business, and they are still having some concerns. I'm concerned about MLM. You know, do you have the magic pills for them?
Well, you know, I usually think back, you know, after 20 years as to, you know, why I'm here. And like most people, yeah, MLM was a taboo word, right? You know, even my mother called me and said, hey, what you doing? You know, it's bad thing, you know. And I think that a lot of times, it's just that when we don't know something, we fear it. We don't know about it, we fear it. I think that's natural that we fear it. But then again, there's also other people who also fear it as well. So there's a few ways to look at this question, like this MLM thing, you know, and how to handle this this thing. Oftentimes, I like to share with people that this business, Nu Skin business, is very similar to Starbucks business now. And you know, Starbucks is a franchise, you know, and if you can just, you know, hold off about MLM as recruitment and enroll people, you know, asking people to buy stuff, just put that on hold a little bit and just think of it as a franchise for a little minute. Because what we're really doing in this business, it really is opening franchises, you know, and you can even call it micro franchising. But there are big differences between the franchise that we know, Starbucks, and of course our model of franchising. But they're very similar. So, for example, Starbucks, you know, they have great coffee. Okay, questionable. they've good coffee. Not the standard Wei-Chen, but they're good coffee. All right. I buy the coffee. Okay. Now, if you own a Starbucks franchise, okay, so people come and buy coffee, and now they're very smart. They have a loyalty card, so you get the card, and then every time you load up, you get some points, isn't it? You get some rewards, right? And because of that, you become loyal users, right? So they're very smart. A lot of companies do that anyway. Now, just imagine that you can open a franchise, and then your you know, so Wei-Chen opens a Starbucks franchise, and I go to Wei-Chen's franchise and I say, hey, Wei-Chen, your Starbucks franchise is doing not so bad, you know. Hey, how can I do one too? So I learned how to make coffee, and then I'm a member, of course, you know. I learned how to make coffee, and then he said, hey, Willing, you've already introduced enough friends, you know. You can go and open one. Let's say Wei-Chen is in Egate, I can open one in Balik Pulau in that sense. So I go and open one in Balik Pulau, and then I have my own customers. Okay, and then these customers also generate revenue as well. Okay, and so Wei-Chen is fine because Wei-Chen's franchise earn, and then my franchise also earn, just like any business, just like you open any shop. So at that time, at this point in time, everything about opening a traditional business and Nu Skin is exactly the same. Because why? Wei-Chen is using Nu Skin products. I look at him, he looks very healthy. I ask him, hey, what are you using? I want to use that too. I become a member, I buy, I get points. And then he said, Willing, you can open your franchise too. So I go to Balik Pulau and I open mine as well. And I have my customers. So at this point, it's exactly the same, isn't it? Right? So no difference. But of course, the big difference between a Starbucks franchise is I have to pay a lot of money to own the Starbucks franchise, right? Vincent Tan and all that kind of stuff. And assuming I have to pay Wei-Chen a lot of money as well, right? But in Nu Skin, we don't have to do any of that, all right? Now, the beautiful thing about Nu Skin business is that unlike Starbucks, where you can only open, where I can only get the franchise from Wei-Chen, that means I cannot open anymore. You want to open another one, you have to buy another license from Wei-Chen, so on and so forth, right? And it's only one level, actually, you know. But in Nu Skin franchise, my customers in Balik Pulau, turned out one of them it lives in Japan. And he said, hey, your Starbucks Coke, coffee is really good. I want to open one. I said, okay, I'll teach you how to open one. And then this guy goes to Tokyo and opens one in Tokyo. And he earns from his Tokyo customers as well. Now, the beautiful thing about Nu Skin Business, which I thought it was brilliant, was that Wei-Chen now can earn 5% from my franchise in Balik Pulau, and also another 5% from the Tokyo franchise as well. And this can go on to 6 levels deep. Now, I know I'm trying to explain to you what MLM is and whatever, but when you think about franchising and this business, actually, we have all the benefits of opening a franchise, but without all the costs associated with a traditional franchise. So I hope that maybe that explanation can give you some ways to understand this MLM better. You know, MLM is just a way of how the compensation is paid, where it is paid in multiple levels. But when you look at a business transaction, why did I buy from Wei-Chen? It's because I trust him. He tells me he tried the coffee and I like it. I tasted it, it's good. I decided to also represent it myself. So all that is because I use the product and he teaches me how to do it and I teach someone else how to do it. And that's how even a traditional business is done as well. So hopefully you see those similarities. MLM is just a platform or a model by which the compensation is done. But the practice of how to do it is very similar to a Starbucks franchise, but without the millions of dollars of franchising costs. I hope that makes sense. Thank you. That's a good question, by the way.
Yeah, so just to remind everyone, I'm helping to collect questions. You know, you can definitely throw any questions on the chat. I'll help to jot it down, and you know, I'll bring it up if, let's say, you are shy to you know, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Sure, of course. You know, guys, you know, the questions some of the new friends here today would like to ask. You know, and you can, because I've been doing it for 20 years, and I'm sure I have something I can share with you that can help you either make a decision to start, or you know, clarify some of your some of the concerns you have. And yeah, any questions you have, feel free, you know, to ask. Yeah. Do we have questions on the list on the
yeah. So I think there's one very interesting questions. So regarding to like just now reading you shared about, you know, opening franchise, so you have friends from Japan and so on. But you know, a lot of people say they like both of us, you know, we were all in factory before, or we are actually you know, have a very, we consider small network, and we realize, you know, there are a lot of friends who are already doing Nu Skin.
Okay.
So circles of networks are small, circles of friends are limited, and you know, even friends who are buying from other people already. Do you think the market is like saturated, and can I still do Nu Skin?
Okay. How many of you have that concern? If you do have that concern, give me 3. So I kind of know that I'm answering a question that, you know, people want to, you care about, you know. If that's your concern, 3, or if you have friends who have that concern as well. All right, good. So the question is, you know, can we still do the business when the network is small and other people are buying from other people like that, and you kind of feel that it's saturated, you can't do it anymore? So can it be done like that? All right, good question. Well, of course, if you think that way, then it will become true. Okay, it's not a trick answer in a sense, because if you think that it is hard, then it will be hard. If you think that all your friends have already joined, then you probably will feel and that, you know, there's probably no hope. Okay, now, of course, that's not what you want to hear, because you really want to do the business and you want to succeed. So there's a couple of ways to look at this. Okay, but the first question you need to ask yourself is this: do you really want to do it? I mean, do you want to do it? Because, oh, you know, you've heard that saying before. If you want to do it, you'll find a way, isn't it? You'll find a way. Even though it's difficult, you'll find a way. the thing is, you want it. Does the new skin rewards, not just about the compensation or the money that you will earn, not the title that you will get, and not the success trips that you will fly to, and not the physical health benefits that you will get. Those you will get anyway. But the reason by which you want to do them, do you really want it? Like for me, I've told you how and what I saw that made me make my decision, but why did I want to do in the first place? So one of my reasons was because I really wanted Casey to be a full-time mother. Okay? And I really wanted that very bad because I see her wanting to spend more time with my daughter, 2-3 years old, but she can't because we both have to work. And she cannot not work because we need the money. So there's a struggle there. It's painful. And those growing years of a child is so important, isn't it? You want to be there. You don't want to sacrifice that. So that was so important. So that made a big driver. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? That you first have to have that need first. Okay, I'll answer that question, but I really want you to understand that I had that big need, and I hope that you have that dream as well. And the other big reason was, when I first started, I was 32 years old. My father was 70. 70. Not young. 32. I probably have to work another 30 years before I can retire to spend more time. But he's 70 already. And some of your parents are probably in the 60s like that. So I was looking for something so I could also spend more time with him. I really wanted that. Of course, at 20 years old, I didn't know that was important. But when you're 30 and your parents are older, you start to realize that they don't get up from the chair as fast as before, isn't it? Right? They take about a minute just to stand up sometimes, isn't it? So I was looking for a platform. I was eager to earn some extra income. I was eager to find a way for Casey. I was eager to change my environment. I felt a little bit trapped in the corporate world, this ladder, this constant of, rat race and competition of this only a singular position, a singular position by multiple people. I'm looking at that and saying, how to fight, and I didn't want to succumb to all those things. And I figured that's not the route for me. And I don't want to sacrifice time. I don't want to. So those were the important needs that drove me. Now, of course, I spent a lot of time just to talk about this point because it is that important. Because let me go back 20 years. When I joined 20 years, and some of you who are same like me would understand this, there was no social media. Is there anybody successful in Nu Skin? No idea. No idea. Who's using it? No idea. Right? And we're in Penang, where the bulk of the training and everyone was in KL, and we don't see much. So show me proof it's success. I can't. So like I said just now, I work for one company. I list down only 16 names. And my family is not big. I only have me and my sister, and my father has only a younger brother who has a family, and that's about it. We don't have an extended family to talk to. Asking the question for saturation, as what Wei Chen asked me, was exactly this question I asked 20 years ago, because I felt, if everybody do, then where got chance for me to do, isn't it? The answer I got, and you can call this a bit funny, but my Eddie, who was a speaker that day, he's now a COE $1 Million Circle member. I said to him, hey, about the question of saturation, do you think after some time, and then he asked me this question, he has, Willing, let me ask you guys this question, okay? How many refrigerators you have at your house? Can you write down the number? How many refrigerators you have in your house? Okay, of course minimum one, some got 2, I was asking another friend the other day, I got 3. I said, what 3? Why do you want 3 for what? You know? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I would say that almost every house got a refrigerator or 2, isn't it? Then he said this. I said, then Willing, then how come you know, the supermarket, how come they're all selling refrigerators like there's no tomorrow? You already have ma? Then how come they're still selling? I said, well, that's true, right? Same thing with TVs. You see, guys, the market is bigger than you think. You should write that down. The market is bigger than you think. Why? Because, you know, we live in this kind of protected world of, you know, employment. We don't really see how big the market is. The market is huge. There's millions of people. But me and my mindset and my exposure was very small. So part of my reason for asking a question like this, and some of you may feel, is our exposure wasn't big. We didn't know that there's a huge market potential. So that was one thing, you know. And the other answer that I really much appreciated was that although Malaysian population, you can say amongst Asia, is actually very small, 30 million people compared to Thailand. Okay, of course, don't know Singapore, compared to Indonesia, 10 times, compared to Vietnam, 90 million. Malaysia is very small, you know. All right, so hey guys, make more children, make more children, make more children, okay? But the beauty about Nu Skin is that the world is flat. When you do Nu Skin, the world is flat. You are able to sponsor globally, you know, and nothing against other companies. Other companies are also international companies. However, they don't have a global and seamless plan like we do. You know, you can sponsor people directly. Other companies have to find co-sponsors and all that kind of stuff. And oh, that's challenging. And you can do that in Nu Skin. So once I heard that, I said, hey, my market is not limited to 30 million people. You know, your business is now 3 billion people, right, in 50 over countries. So I know the next thing you'll say, but Willing, I told you, remember, my network is small, right? I only have a few friends. I know, but that's why I really wanted to ask you that question first. Do you really want to succeed? Because if you really want to succeed, and now Nu Skin gives you a platform to reach out to 50 markets, about 3 billion people. So if you really wanted to, could you do it? Because now we have social media, we have internet. Facebook connects 3.4 billion people every day. Is it 3.4 or 2.4 billion? Something like that, right? So it doesn't matter if all your friends buy. It doesn't matter if you only have a few friends. What matters is your dream. I know it sounds a little bit philosophical. It sounds a bit, like, castles in the air. But it really makes a difference between success or failure. Because if you say that, oh, all my friends are signed up, then don't do it. But if you say that I really want the time, I really want the financial freedom, I really want to leave a legacy for my kids, I really want to spend time with my parents, then hey, the entrepreneur in you will come up and say, if Nu Skin gives me a platform 24/7, that means, hey, let me tell you this. If you only focus in Malaysia, that means you can only do your business probably at max 12 hours a day where everybody is awake. But Nu Skin gives you a business in 50 countries where you can do your business 24/7. The question is, will you stay awake? The question is, will you wake up and build your dream? Isn't it? So that's something that I was impressed with. I said, so now it's not that I cannot, it's not that I don't have the network, it's not that I don't know how. I have the platform to do so. And the only thing I need to do is just to be more hardworking than the guy, not Wei Chen. I just have to be more hardworking than other people. True? Because the platform is given to you. You just have to use it. Nothing stops you. It is really unlimited to you. the only other issue is your energy and your strength. That's all. And how much you really want it. I hope that answers the question, Richard, in a long way.
Yes, yes. I think yeah, you definitely explain it, in a very, very detailed way. I agree, I couldn't I felt it so much, when I first started, the network things or the challenge is really there for everyone, before you go into the business. But today, I can share my experiences. Sometimes when we wake up after a long night, or we wake up in the morning, normal day, check our phone and we see Nu Skin actually sending us notifications. Someone purchased something, and we turn it, when we open up the notifications, we do not know who is the person. and if, let's say, folks, imagine, I put in a very layman term, is like, if you open up a store, a 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗡𝗚, Penang 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗡 store in KL, you expect your KL friends to come visit your 𝗘𝗩𝗘𝗡 every day? No, right? You are expecting strangers, you are expecting crowd from the public, from people that you do not know. I think that's the same in Nu Skin. We are not only expecting our friends, we are expecting strangers, we are expecting friends, we are expecting people who pass by your Facebook profile, your Instagram profile. I think that's huge. It's huge, right? So really, I think I got one more regarding to Nu Skin questions that folks send in, and then I have one more into personal development as the last questions, I guess. So let's go for the third questions first, the regarding to the products, okay? So it's about price point. I think generally in Malaysia, I think a lot of people are, thinking, or they have this impression saying that when they heard Nu Skins, they sort of put the price point at the expensive level or above average, or kind of perceptions. What do you think? Is a product really expensive, or how can we handle that?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. That's a key point as well, right? Expensive, of course, throughout the years, I'm sure. How many of you have that issue as well? How many of you have that concern? If you have that concern, give me 3. Product expensive, how to address this with people who want to do the business. Again, there's a couple of ways to do this. And when I say these things, by no means do I offend anyone by saying that they're cheap and they're no good and all that kind of stuff. But it's always a perception, how we see things, how other people see things. I must say that price is a relative term, meaning that, you may think $10 is cheap, but other people may think $10 is expensive, right? It all depends on perspective, how we see it. You guys agree? If you agree, give me 1. Now, but what is important to understand, and I think that if you hear a lot of marketing gurus, sales gurus, and you listen to a lot of leaders, I think the word value comes up. Value, and again, forgive me, I when I do this comparisons, nothing against these car brands, but people do buy cars that are expensive, and there's a reason they buy that, other than the brand. But we know that the quality is different. When you close the door, it closes very nicely, isn't it? And if you close a car that is relatively cheaper, when you close the door, maybe the whole car can shake a little bit, isn't it? Right? So what is that? What are you buying? You're buying the safety, the quality, the reassurance that the door's not going to fall off. So value is very important, and so we have to remember that whatever that you sell, we don't want, even though we have social commerce and social business, we are not social sell. We're not online sales. We don't online sales, because online sales right now has become very like commodity. Is like whoever cheaper you buy from, isn't it? Now, whoever cheaper you buy from, what value is that, isn't it? So if somebody else gives you a cheaper price, you go towards them already. So, and sometimes you question if the product that you're buying that you need to swallow, if it's very cheap, do you feel safe taking it? You say, wait, hold on a minute, that's very cheap, is it real or not? Is it real, right? So value is very important. So, so a lot of times, it requires a person like you and me, or like your introducer, who have used the product to spend time to share with you the value of the product. I'm sure that a lot of you here today, when you were first introduced, I don't think your friend came up to you and said, hey, Louis Spa, $1,050, one or not. I don't think he did that. I think that the person would be showing you the demo, the value, the benefits. And then when he saw you and you liked it, he said, how much is this? Does that make sense? So we're not sellers of price. We want to position ourselves as a value. We want to give value to people, right? So I hope that makes sense. But then again, it still comes to the end of the day, the price point. And of course, you'll come back again. So I want to say this to some new friends here today, that when, Nu Skin is a business. And when it is a business, you don't do business and not expect to earn anything, right? Come on. I mean, we have to be very pragmatic here. We're all business people. You're entrepreneurs. You're here to make money, isn't it? Because if not, I would have stayed in Motorola, isn't it? But I wanted to make money. And I wanted to make money ethically. I wanted to make money based on a fair price that has been defined by the company, and everybody uses the same price. I want to use a product to know that it has benefit to me before I recommend to my friends. So I know the value I recommend to friends. But I also want to let you guys know that Nu Skin's positioning is very important, because there are many MLM companies and there are many direct selling companies. There are some direct selling companies, many of them, by the way, who sell very, very cheap products, which is fine. I have no problem with them. That is their positioning. They position themselves for that market. That means they have to sell a lot to a lot of people to earn, because if the product is cheap, the commission is also going to be very small, isn't it? So you have to do a lot of work to sell a lot of the products, or to inventorize in order to gain any substantial commission. So Nu Skin position, no, we say, no, we don't want to position ourselves in that segment of the market. We want to position ourselves in a premium level of the market, premium level. So when I say premium level, is the same kind of level that you would go if you went to Jaya Jesco or Eon, and you would go to the most expensive rental floor, which is the first floor. And in the first floor, the most expensive rental floor, what product is sold there? Does anybody know? What product is sold in the most expensive floor, the most accessible floor, which is the first floor? Guys, anybody of you know what product is sold there? What kind of products are sold there? Cosmetic products, right? Right? So we are positioned to compete with that segment of the market. Now, if that segment of the market was not profitable, they would never rent the most expensive floor. So there must be some smart business strategy to have that product. But we, 30 years ago, decided to do 40 years ago, decided to do something different. We want to enter that market, but not with expensive prices and very little good ingredients. We want to match the prices, but with 20% good ingredients versus 1 or 3% that they have in the market. Value, again, we want to give value, and we want to compete against this market. So a lot of times, what you see, the price, because you can't compete with price, we want to take a look at the ingredients, the technology, the innovation that we can do with these products, the value that it gives you. So when you position yourself in that market, that explains it. So then again, if the person looks at this and say they're too expensive, if they buy into the idea of this business and they want time and financial freedom, or some kind of freedom, then this is the product mix. This is the market segment we're going to, because that market segment can afford it. That market segment has higher commissions for you, and that market segment is defined very, very well already. And we don't want to sell a lot because you know what? People like you and me don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time. We want to use our time to maximize and be very effective in this market. And that is why Nu Skin is positioned in that market. Okay. If I gave you a choice between 𝗘𝗪𝗘𝗚 and Mercedes, which franchise would you choose? Knowing that you need to sell 20 𝗘𝗪𝗘𝗚 to earn 1 Mercedes franchise commission. And you'd have to go to JBJ 20 times. Which one would you choose to go? Right? Yes, people, you may not have friends who want to buy the Mercedes, but then again, how bad do you want it? And would you like to learn to build a network, meet people who would like to buy the Mercedes in that sense? Okay. And remember, we have social media, internet, and 50 countries to work in.
All right.
Does that make sense, guys? Let's get some feedback from the audience. Did that make sense? If it does, give me like 5, 5, 5, 5. That makes sense. Like a long answer. Wei Jen, we have one more question. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Good.
So there are actually a few more questions that came in, but
good.
I think because of the time, I think we will take this one as the last one. That I think it will help a lot of new people who are probably on the fence.
Sure.
You know, yeah, a lot of 5, 5, 5, 5 coming from the crowds. Yeah,
I'm very glad.
So coming to the last questions, right? It's more onto personal perceptions, in the sense that how we see ourselves. I think Willing and I both are coming from engineering background. A lot of like for me myself, since I was in universities and so on, I was not good in talking. Even when I get into my first job, my role is to face the computer more than face people. I think this is very common, amongst Malaysians, probably Singaporeans. Majority of us a little bit shy, and we think we are not good in talking. And the key thing is, not many of us have sales experience. No sales experience, and of course, all this come together. People are lack of confidence. How can we break through, or how can we sort of like overcome these challenges?
How many of you have children? How many of you? If you have children, give me whatever number that you have. Like you have one children, you have two children. If you are planning to have 10, you can write 10 if you want to. So 2, 3, great. Kids are like this. Of course, I have got an adult kid, 22 years old. She might be here today. I don't know. And we have a 6 and 8 as well, right? So, the kids want to buy stuff, right? They want to buy stuff, and they don't just ask you one time, right? They ask you many, many times, isn't it? Right? And they keep asking you many, many times, and they come up with all sorts of reasons. One, he said, well, Daddy, where are we going? We're going to that mall. Hey, that mall got that shop, So they're very quick to go and figure out something, and then they're very clever right nowadays. How many of your kids are very clever right now? If they want something, they'll figure it out, isn't it? I think there is wisdom from these children. There is a sense of innocence from children. Number one, they they want it. Number two, they consistently keep asking for it, and they find all sorts of ways to do it. So I think sometimes it's good to go back to kids' wisdom and kind of learn from them a little bit. Now, Wei Jen talked about communication, and
sales and also confidence level.
Yeah, so let's take a look at it from a couple of perspectives. It's a heavy question. Okay, so sales. Okay, just go straight at it. Sales. Why do people? I talked to a lot of people in 20 years, and I asked them, hey, do the business. They say, no, I don't want to. I say, how come they don't want? A lot of times they don't they will just give a lot of reasons why they don't want. I'm sure some of you, like, I don't have friends, I don't know how to talk, and I don't like sales or all that kind of stuff. All those answers are quite valid. In fact, they're like that. Even me too. When people approach me and say, "William, you do this?" I don't know how to talk, lah. I'm an engineer. I have no idea. I gave the similar feedback myself. But looking back, I asked myself, why did I say those things? Why did I say I don't know how to talk? Why did I say I don't have friends? Why did I say that I'm not good in sales? Would you like to know the truth? Well, the truth is very simple. I'm human. I don't like people to reject me. Yeah. How many of you are like me? You don't like people to say no to you. I mean, let's be honest, The reason I say I cannot talk is because I'm scared that if I talk, people will say no. I said, I don't like that. So that's why. And the reason I say I have no friends is because if I said I have friends, my friend would definitely ask me to do the business, but I don't want. Why I don't want? Because I don't want people to say no, right? And again, that is rejection. And then why do I say I don't know how to do sales? Because in sales, you have to ask people you want to buy or not. I don't want to ask that question because if I ask that question, I cannot again, right? So at the end of the day, that's the reason, right? I was so afraid of people saying no to me. That's where I have all these things and that's part of the reason. And I want to be very straightforward with everybody here today. I'll just get straight to the point. And that's why, as Wei Chen asked me just now, I talked a lot about my dream and why I wanted it so bad. And no matter what, I wanted to, get Casey to be a full-time mother. I want to spend more time with my dad. I wanted to be free. I wanted to do something more than engineering. I wanted to leave a legacy. I wanted those so bad that I eventually decided that I don't care if my friends said no. It comes to a point that I want something so bad that I didn't care if people said no to me. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah. Because I hate it. I would hate myself. No, not hate myself. I mean, I would be very angry if I knew that this platform was very good, the product was good, the company is good, leadership, the culture is good, that the only reason I didn't do it was because I was afraid people to say no. I was afraid people saying no to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, wow, really? And so I started to understand why people said no. And I started to learn skills that I've never taught before. Nobody taught me, nobody said that, William, if you want to do sales, you can learn how to do it. I thought that in order to be good in sales, it was, you got to be really good at talking. You got to be like the promoter in the shop. You got to be like the car salesman. You got to be like, what? Like really, like hard sell, And nobody said that, hey, you can actually learn how to do it. And there is a step-by-step and there are very professional ways of doing it. And I went to do my research and I can give you, guys, if some of you here today have that challenge, I'm going to, tell you to read these two books. Okay. These two books are called by Brian Tracy, right? Which you can help me type it down. Brian Tracy. And the first book I recommend you is called The Psychology of Closing. The Psychology of Closing. And the other one, The Art of Selling. Okay. I know a lot of you here today are new and say, oh my God, William is talking about selling and closing. Hey, at the end of the day, like I said just now, the only reason what stopped me from doing this business was because I was afraid that if I were to ask my friend if they wanted to buy, they would say no. But when I read these two books, I learned how to do it professionally. I know how to do it more effectively. I know that my friend, if I was talking to him, he had the right to say no because I didn't want to force him. I didn't want to hard sell him. And when I read these books, I learned the right things to do. So people didn't feel pressured. People didn't feel they had to buy, right? People feel good talking to me. So I had to learn that, right? Step by step. So these two books, guaranteed if you go and get them, they're very thin books, you will definitely learn this. So then again, like I said just now, I really wanted the freedom. I really wanted to leave a legacy. I really wanted to spend time. So I made a decision and I understood why they said no, because I said no for many, many years. I said no. But I didn't say no forever, right? Because I started to understand. Remember, I went to the meeting and I realized, wow, 58% are professionals, New York listed, US Olympic sponsor, 38 universities, UC Berkeley. You see, I didn't know that. But when I know that, it changed my mind. So for some of you here today who want to begin and you're concerned about your communication skills, and I will tell you frankly, you're perfect in talking. You can speak. You can speak with your kid. You can speak to the boss. You can speak. If you don't want to speak, you can always WhatsApp and WeChat, and you can always use Facebook Messenger. But then again, remember the first interview that you did when you go to work and you got your job. What did you really share with the interviewer? You actually shared who are you and why the company would hire you. True? And you sold your professionalism, your education, your know-how, your knowledge, your personality to that company. So if you can do that, you absolutely can share with your friends or customers who you are, what kind of person you are, and why they should buy from you, isn't it? Yes, there are some people who would say, no, I'm not interested, which is fine. There are also some people who say, I'm very busy. Yes, they are. But there will be people like me. You will find people like me one day deciding after they have a kid, their life changes and they start to realize their parents are getting older. And then you approach a person like me. And when that timing comes, I would say, yes, let's take a look at it. Does that make sense? So there are ways to learn how to communicate. We will teach you. There are ways how to learn, how to sell, and how to close. You can read those 2 books. But most important, that do you really want to be able to achieve these things? And I can tell you this, if you really want to, all that you are concerned with can be learned. You just need to understand, like most people here today, all of us today said no before we said yes. We all said no before we said yes. So rejection is part of the business, right? But then again, when we are effective in what we say and we are true to ourselves and we communicate who we are, then your friend will always give you a chance. Does that make sense? But if you're interested to know how and you want to learn more in depth about these skills, talk to your introducer. I think they will be able to guide you and share with you the right training that will give you confidence. I'll give you the know-how to be able to do this professionally and very effectively.
All right. Please give our COE1 Wellington lots of flowers, lots of 88 in the chat. Thanks for his time and of course his super valuable experience sharing, and also his advice. To be honest, I was just like you. When I first heard about Nu Skin, when I first know about the compensation plan, like I said earlier on, I just want to earn couple thousands ringgits a day or a month, just to have that extra income. I started with very small visions, very small goals. But when I get to know the team, when I get to know the company, especially the culture, the mission and visions of the company, it's expand my dreams and expand my goals. And of course, today I'm an executive brand director, and I consider myself one of the successful leaders in Nu Skin. But I know I can go further. I can go even get even more and help even more people to be successful. Like what our COE1 Willing and Casey always share with us. Help 1,000 families to be successful. To have financial and time freedoms. That's the visions that we all have, right? So if you want to know more, definitely I advise you to talk to the people that invited you to the sharing tonight. Must get to know this information from them. Okay, number 1, company background. Number 2, ageLOC technology. Number 3, 5% 6 level. Number 4, how to get started. Okay, that's very important. Okay, how to get started. Okay, because they will share with you their experience. They will share with you their methods. And what you need to do is just duplicate. That's the spirit of franchising business. Okay. All right. Once again, I want to thank our CEO Willing for sharing with us, and appreciate all the time from all the audiences. Thank you so much, and have a good evening. Thanks. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, guys. Awesome. Thank you, Wei Chen.
Thank
This
you.
was fun, actually.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Willing and Wei Chen.